Welcome back to the Aubservation. We're live at the top of PubKey, the best Bitcoin bar in New York City. Come through, tip your bartenders. Today we have on the Aubservation Lydia Moynihan. She is a columnist at the New York Post, and she's covered top stories like the Mamdani election, which we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the show, Lydia.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
I know, and it's been such a long time coming. We've been colleagues and friends for some years, but
I know.
Yeah,
we survived COVID together, kind of.
I know.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the real ones.
I know. The media space in New York City is like far and few between. People cycle out. So it's good.
Honestly, it's like the last man standing. But it's funny because I definitely I think I followed you before I knew you.
Yeah.
So then I felt like when I met, I was like, oh, you're famous. I don't know.
It's funny too, internet friends and like Twitter friends, when you actually like hit it off with someone. And now we've been at each other's birthdays and like visited you. And so it's so fun to have that journey. But I'm also so proud of your success. Like you've crushed it in your career. You've been the journalism game
ongoing.
Well, because like journalism is one of those things where it's just like people, first of all, hate on it all the time.
I know.
And you're fighting the good fight and trying to do the good coverage that we need. But we're going to talk a little bit about your coverage on the Mamdani election. Were you surprised?
I'm one of these people who I'm always going to be hopeful until the last second. And yeah, I'm just going to like let it all hang out. Obviously, I was like really alarmed about Mamdani. And honestly, at this point, it's not even the socialism that's the problem for me. And I actually also think that we're going to learn very quickly. Like, I think we're already seeing implications of him being elected. Like NYPD, FDNY folks are already turning in their resignation. So I think that's going to, like, we're already feeling that. And that's only going to accelerate over the next couple months and certainly the next year. But I think like the margin he won by actually, look, he got more votes than I think anybody else in the history of New York. And it was interesting because I've interviewed a lot of folks who voted for him like through work. There's just, again, like no understanding of basic economics. Like there was this one kid we interviewed election night who was super pumped about Mamdani. And he was like, yeah, like affordability is such a big issue for me. Like, that's why I voted for him. And asked like, okay, well, so how is he going to make your life more affordable? A very long pause. Well, I don't know materially.
Isn't materially the only way?
Isn't that the entire thing? And I'm really split right now. Actually, I've been thinking about this a lot because I do think like the macroeconomic whole like situation is really bad for young people. I do think boomers totally had a pass, right? Like now it's like people have debt and they have, it's really hard to get housed. Like things are more expensive. And so I'm very sympathetic because like, I get it. Like when I moved to New York, like I lived in a 6th floor walk up, like I get it. But I also see this other trend where maybe it's just like malaise. Maybe it's a sense of like, I can never make it, but I know so many people who just don't want to work hard.
Yeah. It is tough because I saw this graph that came out the other day that talked about the average age of home buyers. And I don't know if you saw it, but it's on Twitter and it was showing just the increase in age. And then the repeat home buyers was just like also exponentially large. And you think about a group of people who under the age of 30 are not able to buy a home. Looking to earn up to 9% APY on your cash backed by real cash flow assets? Or just want to secure a crypto-backed loan at 8.91% interest? With Figure Markets app, you can do both, all in one mobile app. They've released the first real-world asset borrow-lend pool called Democratized Prime. It allows you to earn up to 9% by lending your money against real-world assets, like home equity lines of credit, HELOCs, which only banks were able to do prior. Lend like a bank and get more than others are offering you on your stables. Figure is known as the largest non-bank mortgage lender in the country and is now in the crypto-backed loan space, offering industry low rates when you use your Bitcoin as collateral to get cash. Access loans starting at 8.91% interest, the lowest fixed rate in the industry at 50% LTV, all with decentralized custody, which allows you to see a segregated personal Bitcoin wallet with your Bitcoin in it on chain. Download the Figure Markets app today with my personal link, figuremarkets.co/Aubrey, or scan the QR code to get 9% on your idle cash or take out a Bitcoin-backed loan at industry low rates. And when those sort of things happen, you almost think like, well, anything radical might sound appealing to me, even if it doesn't make sense on paper, and maybe materially it doesn't come to like materially.
Like it's literally the world, like material. Like,
but are people so desperate, in your opinion, that they're just looking for any out? And I don't say this on an sort of economic, but more of a generational issue of like the boomers have half the wealth in the country, Gen X has some wealth, and then the millennials and Gen Z are getting like squeezed the hell out. So they're like, what do we do? Everyone's like, well, wait till the boomers pass. It's like, well, you can't wait your whole life to not buy a house. Like there's wealth transfers, but that's crazy.
Like giving like King Charles, like waiting until like his mother died, and like now he's finally king at like 70 something.
That's
and, like,
us. That's millennials.
Like, we're like waiting, and like then like by the time we're 70, like it'll be okay, but like we'll also like have some terminal illness, whatever. Anyway, because of microplastics, so drink liquid death, I guess. I don't know.
This episode of The Aubservation is brought to you by Cake Wallet, the non-custodial crypto wallet that puts you in control. In a world where crypto can feel complicated and intimidating, Cake Wallet makes managing your digital assets simple, secure, and stress-free. You can easily store, send, receive, and swap Bitcoin, Monero, and more. Cake Wallet is built for anyone who values privacy, convenience, and control in their crypto journey. Ready to take charge? Download Cake Wallet on the Apple Store or Google Play.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that? Just to round that out, do you feel like it's just a bunch of young people who feel like they can't get a home, they can't get a girlfriend, they can't do a lot of things, so the free lunch sounds good?
Totally. Yeah, I also think there is, look, I get it, because I do think, especially like being in journalism, yeah, it sucks because, again, I think like we were promised something that isn't going to be delivered for us because of macroeconomic considerations. But I also think that we as a generation are more entitled than ever before. We had this idea that like, oh, it's just going to keep getting better and better. And it's like the American dream is to have a better life than your parents, but it also means you have to work really hard to make that happen. People are also promoting a lifestyle that they may not even have. And yet you look at that and you're like, oh, I don't have that. I must be a loser. So I think our expectations are higher than ever. We're more entitled. The economy is kind of shitty for us, right? Like I do think if you did all of the right things, you went to college, right? And you were told like, oh, just take out loans. Like your English degree will like totally be worth it. And then you struggle to get a job. Like I understand the anger and the resentment because like so many people did do the right thing and that it doesn't work anymore, right? Like it used to be, I don't know, like the 40s, the 50s, whatever. Like you go to college, you get a good job, your company pays you. And now it's changed so much. So I'm sympathetic, but I'm also like, at the same time, annoyed that I think because people are upset, the reaction is like, screw it. Like, I'm just going to quit my job.
It's both. I mean, it can be both things, I think, right?
I think too, actually, like crypto, NFTs, all of that to an extent is popular because people kind of feel like they have to make some crazy gamble to like make it in America in this day and age. You know, they feel like, and that's why people bought meme stocks, I think, because they were like, well,
I need to tick it out.
Like, just screw it. Like, like it's kind of like playing the lottery. Like
it is.
But what's the alternative?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But also it's interesting, like looking back to Mamdani, our boy of the week, like we talked about women voting for him. It actually also was overwhelmingly college educated people who voted for him.
So do you think that the education system is failing us? Like they're not being properly taught?
No, I think it's perfect.
So you think it's great?
Exactly. No, so I do think there's an element of like college voters are saddled with debt and feel like it was a bait and switch in terms of like do all the right things and then you'll have a comfortable life, and like that hasn't panned out. But I also think a lot of people in college are kind of indoctrinated. If you look at the faculty for most universities, it's like 96% of them are very liberal. They teach socialism.
Yeah.
Like I went locally to college for a year to save money. And like every single professor, like I remember saying things to them that like, oh, well, Milton Friedman, and they're like, who's that? Or like I mentioned a Bible verse in one class and they're like, what? They were all so far left. So it's like this combination of like not teaching basic economics. Also, love for like, America. That's not a thing.
No, that's not taught anymore. I do think that people who have not lived in a socialist or communist environment nation should not be able to like really say like we want this.
Yeah.
I'm like really live through that. Like ask someone from Russia how you feel.
From like Venezuela and Cuba are trying to come here.
I know. It's so stupid. I wonder, do you think that New York is going to become like San Francisco? Or do you think Mamdani doesn't actually have a lot of the power that people assume he does?
Obviously, like he doesn't actually have the power to do many of the things that he's promised. But I also think, and in fact, if he like wanted to do those, he should stay in the assembly, because like it is the state that does most of like has the power of the purse. I think it's a vibe shift.
Mm-hmm.
I do see some of that again. So like with the police officers leaving, I think that's a big problem. I think people feel more like empowered to commit crimes because they know cops are leaving. Like I think there's that kind of a downward spiral. Yeah, I hope people wake up. And I really like Lee Stefanik. She's running for governor, and I feel like maybe that'll be a good counterbalance.
I want to talk about the crime a little bit, because Mamdani says he wanted to put in social workers in situations where the police shouldn't interact. So like I try to see that situation out like on the subway. Like how would that actually pan out? We've seen situations with like Irina that was down in the metro. It's a little hard to imagine how a social worker would solve a situation like that. But I would love to get your thoughts on that.
I just don't know how anyone can walk around these cities and like, I mean, even walking here, like I took the subway here. There are so many homeless people. Like, I don't understand how the idea of letting people be homeless, like they're clearly not okay, why that policy is seen as like compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that compassionate to let somebody who's clearly not okay mentally or physically, like writhe there in pain? Like, why do we allow that? Like, I just, that is a huge problem. Like, it goes back to the broken window theory. Like, as soon as you see graffiti, people just feel empowered. Bad actors just feel like they can kind of do whatever they want and get away with it. I'm sure, like, I'm curious to hear your take. I mean, I've been like spat on. I've had my hair pulled. Like, I've been slapped. Like, that stuff happens way too much. Mm-hmm. And clearly, like, the more you say, defund the police, like, the police are racist and like, the police get the message and they're like, wait, I don't want to intervene. I don't want to support this guy. Why am I going to continue to put my life in danger for somebody who clearly isn't going to have my back? And the other thing, I know this is close to home, I think we're like almost too fixated on Mamdani. And I was really alarmed with Alvin Bragg, who literally his whole shtick was going after Trump. And then he was reelected. Like,
I know.
So it's like, not only are you trying to defund the police, you're also trying to put people who help other people in jail.
People are not going to get involved. I think we've seen that now. People stay out of it. There's no incentive to be like a hero anymore. Also, as a woman being here, you know, if you stay, like I tweeted this, like if you stay in New York, the right will just say, you know, you deserved it because you stayed in the city. The left will say this is like what you deserve, or like you should be like okay with it because it's a city. And this is what happens in cities. That's just like should be expected, which is gross on both levels. So it's already bad in my opinion. So for it to get worse, like I guess it can get worse, but
like think about that. Like, why are people excited to have somebody who's like bragged about wanting to defund the police? Okay, I think you had tweeted, not to bring up your old tweets, I think you tweeted something about like, if Zoran wins, I'm not going to feel safe here. Like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I said I'm leaving. That was this summer. And I was feeling very unsafe this summer. And like, because similar situations, like someone was screaming, got spit at, like I've had it all too. And I'm just like, sometimes it's just not worth that. I really don't want this. And also for the tax reasons, like what? You may give me more than half my salary away to the New York?
Wait, when is it enough?
It's crazy. Will I move? We'll see.
Where would you move to though?
Probably like a tax haven, or Hawaii.
Like Monaco?
I know. No, probably like Florida. I don't want to do Florida because everyone does it, but like
basic.
I know.
That's so basic.
We need more states that like are trying to get New Yorkers to come there. You don't need income tax to thrive as a state. So
clearly,
like Florida's great, Texas is great, Wyoming's great.
It feels a little like, I don't know, far.
We need federalism back in this. I have a question on the prediction markets because I know you covered the prediction markets during this election. They called it pretty much ahead. And this happened last election cycle, actually, with the Trump election. They called it again. What do you think about the prediction markets? Because some people are saying that it's bad to have these prediction markets because then people don't come out because they feel like the vote's already decided. I know you wrote a piece and people were getting like really heated about it. What are your thoughts on the prediction markets?
Yeah, I think like for me, I remember last year I was like so bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was like, this is amazing. This is the best thing ever. We don't need polls anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really great tool, especially last year in a federal election president. You know, you have like, I think the volume was like 4 or 5 billion at any moment. And I am a big Kalshi fan because they actually have to abide by so-called know your customer rules.
Kalshi over Polymarket?
Well, here's why. So and I'm hoping that this improves for the better. So Kalshi has to have, like, they abide by the same financial regulations that like a JP Morgan Chase or like Bank of America. So they have to know that like when they're taking money, like, oh, this person isn't a terrorist or like, I don't know, Xi Jinping, right? Like they have some like pretty basic stuff that they have to abide by.
Yeah.
The issue right now is Polymarket isn't legal in the US. So you either have to use a VPN or like obviously be living in another country. And it's really easy to manipulate. And actually today this is why I pulled it up. There was a study from Columbia that found a large percentage of money that's put into Polymarket is wash trading. 60% of overall platform values was basically fake trades of it's like the same people putting in money and trying to influence things. So that was my issue is I didn't like that it felt like it's designed for foreign actors to also I actually love using the word actor because it makes me think of like somebody putting it, it's like a foreign actor, a bad actor, like Nicolas Cage, just a bad actor. No, but I like that the Kalshi, like they're trying to crack down on that. And I hope that as Polymarket is regulated here in the US, that issue will subside because what frustrated me this election was that like it clearly was money from the Middle East and China that was being bet on Mamdani and it was advertised everywhere. So it was like constantly like 96% for Mamdani. So I think once we know where the money is coming from, once it's regulated, I'm hopeful that those issues will be resolved. But I don't know that it should be allowed to like be advertised all over the city because that influences perception. But that's my bigger issue. Like obviously they got it super right, but is it sort of like leading the witness a little bit? So
yes or no, do you think prediction markets are better for society as a net?
I'm so mixed. I also I've never liked gambling.
Yeah.
I don't like
never? Never got to the casino? Not once?
No. Yeah. Look, I think it's actually going to be a good tool. And once it's regulated, I think it'll be good.
Okay.
I think it'll be good.
It was interesting last election when everyone got it wrong on the Trump election. And then the prediction markets were right.
Totally right.
So it is interesting to see.
But I will say, yes, I have a short memory. And so that as of last year, I was like, wait, this is amazing. This is so fabulous. And then you look back, like historically, actually, like Hillary Clinton, like in the lead up to the election was like 90% likely to win on prediction markets. Obviously, this was a long time ago. And then Mitt Romney, same thing. Mm-hmm. So they haven't always gotten it right. But yes, obviously they called it with Trump and Mamdani.
I just wonder if like polling's totally done.
I have so many questions about, I'm like, how?
Like the Gallup poll, they always come up with like, what is it done? Are we done with that? Is it just moved all to prediction markets?
I think it's going to change a lot, but people still love being able to cite polling.
They do.
Right? Like, especially if you're on TV or you're writing an article, you're like, haha, like I
research
this poll, right? Like it's such a fun thing to be able to reference.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can also like find a poll that kind of supports whatever you do and be like, well, according to like polling, like it's not me saying this. The poll is saying this.
This is so Fox coded or CNN coded when you go out there and do your little thing.
Not so my opinion.
That's what they're saying. I found a poll that agrees with me.
Exactly.
I want to ask.
So easy to manipulate.
I know, right?
Terrifying.
That's like every paper I wrote in college, pretty much.
At least you wrote them. I don't think people are writing papers anymore in college.
They're not.
They're just using AI.
It's AI slop. Everyone's cooked. I want to ask you about the government shutdown.
This is like,
well, you're covering all. You
oh my gosh, yeah. No, but I love that. Like you started as a journalist.
Yeah, I did.
Are still a journalist.
Yeah,
at heart,
it's deep down. It's still in there.
You were just smart. You were like, no, let me avoid this.
We can drop like some profanity if we want.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
The FCC's not coming after me.
I know that. I don't know. They'll be like talking about like really gratuitous or horrible things, but like, don't say a swear word.
I know,
don't
right?
Say damn. Like on Fox, it's like they'll just change topics last minute.
Yeah,
and then like play a thought that you've never heard and be like, what do you think about the fact that so and so said this? And you're like, what did they say? And then on CNN, somebody's like,
do they tell? Is CNN prep you a little bit more before?
Yeah, they typically, it really, like, it varies, but then you never know. I mean, it's good. You're like having to debate ideas.
Well, it's like breaking.
No,
breaking news could happen, and then it's like, okay, Lydia, what do we think?
Like, this judge just ruled that, and you're like, oh. Like, it's kind of insane, actually, the expectation that, like, you have to. You're supposed to be like AI. You're supposed to be like AI on TV, like that fast. You were ChatGPT, like, give us an opinion, right? No, and I think that's actually why a lot of news is so flawed. Is because people, like, you get booked to do something, and you have to talk about it, even if you genuinely have no concept of what's going on with that situation. You just, like, have to, like, pick a lane and stay by what you're saying.
Do you feel like when you're doing pundit work, you have to immediately pick a lane? Do you ever, like, try to toe the line?
Yeah, sometimes I try and stay quiet. In a panel, I'm like,
don't want to say this. Don't ask me.
Well, she made a good point, but I think other people might say this.
Yeah, that's tough.
Like, you've done TV.
I have, but
again,
I feel like I lock in.
Roots.
Yeah, but when I went on Fox on a Jesse show, he tried to bait me and to get, like, more ridiculous, because I was like that last show, and it was like, I mean, the one I did.
I bet he loves you though.
He was not. He was really nice, but he was, like, really anti-Bitcoin when I came in there, and, like, before he was like, I'm never buying Bitcoin. But this was, like, before we rallied back and stuff, and
damn.
So he was like
missed opportunity.
It was like it was kind of like FTX around that time, so I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, not like so close to it, but it was it was painful. And then it was funny though.
But I actually, Jesse, I think this is what I've learned from him. I really like him as a host and everything. He won't talk to you about what your segment is until the cameras go on.
I know.
For this, because I'm always like, okay, so, like, I was thinking that I might. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to, like, he's like,
oh, no way.
Let's talk about something else. But he, like, wants it all to be live, which is actually so interesting. Because when I interview people, I'm always like, want to talk about it in advance. And I realize that's actually a problem.
Oh, did you see the Sydney Sweeney interview?
Oh my gosh. I watched many, many clips. What is your you took your jacket off.
I know. I'm ready.
In honor of Sydney.
I'm ready to talk about it. So she took a while to kind of have a public interview about this, because this happened in the summertime, but she did the jeans ad. And for American Eagle, people thought that she was a white supremacist racist. And the woman said, I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak on it. And Sydney did the classic PR playbook of, I'm going to give you a non-answer, because, you know, you can always steer the conversation, as you probably interviewed people and they'd, like, pivot out of a question. She basically was like, if I have something to say, you'll know about it. And that was it. And she did not do the 2020 playbook of apologizing, of the accountability. Yeah, all of that. So she could have gone that route, but she just gave her a face, like, and we've seen the memes.
It was so interesting watching her confidence, and, like, she was sitting back, like, kind of making the other woman squirm, because you know that the interviewer went into this and they're like, we're gonna, like, get her to fess up, we're gonna, like, get her to say something. And it was like 3, 4, 5 minutes of the interviewer being like, so, like, we're kind of dancing around this, like, but the president, like, truth tweeted about that. Like, it was so clear that she felt so uncomfortable, even, like, continuing to try and, like, push Sydney to say something, and, like, bringing up Trump, bringing up, like, in this political environment, like, bringing up all of the things. And I think people were so impressed with, like you can literally just not apologize. Like, you can literally just live your life. And I think the interviewer just seemed so obnoxious and, like, sort of superior too, right? She was
like she was owed something.
Exactly. Like, she was kind of shocked that Sydney wasn't taking the bait, right? Like, every question, she was like, the president. And I think she was hoping that Sydney would be like, I hate Trump. Like, probably like every other person she's interviewed has done, because they are so afraid of, like, being painted as a right-wing or Republican or pro-Trump person. And so they was like, it was surreal. Like, you literally just don't have to, like, take the bait. And
she gave her nothing. I did think the interviewer was afraid. And I actually think we've gone, and this is no shade to you, but I'm like, the tough interviewers, I don't see them as much as I did when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Who were like, I remember, like, Diane Sawyer would get in an interview with you and she would say something like, so your jeans ad, a lot of white supremacists got excited about it. They agreed with you. Then she would pause. and just stare and like let you fill that air, because that's when you get the
like
answer.
Squirm.
Yeah. And this one was doing like the upspeak, the Valley Girl, like, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to sort of, and it's like, we need like the tough, hardball people. I think that's one of the issues. And then I also think it's crazy that the takeaway is that the jeans thing was with race. Why wasn't it about her big tits or her great eyes or like all the other things that jeans are? Like, why are jeans only about being white? It doesn't even make sense.
Also, I know. Like, face, like,
we're not talking about her skin color.
People have been making that joke.
It's the melons, guys. It's the melons. Why did the joke go over everyone's head and it was like, no, it's about white people. It's about the tits.
I think like most men got the joke. They were like, oh yeah, she has huge boobs. But you're right. So I think she was trying to play it off as like she was cool and like she was part of the zeitgeist and like wanted to make sure that Sydney was like on the same page.
You're one of us.
I also think like this like accountability structure, like I actually have experienced that so many times where people are kind of like, even to me, like if I just meet somebody or whatever and they're like, so Donald Trump, am I right? And like they're saying it in a way that's just sort of assuming almost that like you agree with them already and that you're also just going to be like, oh yeah. It's like there was a level of assumption that woman was making where she was like, Sydney's like one of us, like we're the same, like so clearly she just was like the issue is she hasn't had an opportunity to address this, like that's the issue. So I think it was like a tremendous amount of arrogance because it's
entitlement, narcissism to assume
somebody not voting for Mamdani. Like
it's just, for me, it's like I never assume everyone agree. When I'm in a conversation with a new person, I'm never like, well, they obviously agree with me. That would be an insane thing to think. Right, like that would be an insane assumption to make about anyone. So either you're just extremely entitled, narcissistic, or you just think that the other half of the population that voted the other way doesn't exist. Do you feel optimistic that there's a date near, or do you think we're going to see, this drag on towards the end of the year? Also, like, we're having all these like flight issues.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Although somebody was saying, I think it's only like 30% of the population that actually flies like annually. But it's going to be grim. I think maybe I'll hitchhike to Texas to visit my brother for Thanksgiving. No, I honestly, I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels like anytime we think it's close, it's not. And I just feel like the longer it goes on, the more the sides are digging in. And I'm not optimistic.
Well, Lydia, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. This like flew by.
I know.
Where can people find you? You're all over the place these days.
Follow me on Twitter where I don't say controversial things, evidently.
We need more fire takes. I'm gonna get you more radicalized.
This radicalized me. And read the New York Post as well. That's where my byline is.
Yay.
But follow me on Twitter for all of my life updates about where I'm doing TV too.
And her dachshund.
Percy. I just want a better world for Percy. But now with Mamdani, I'm like, I think I need to upgrade to get maybe a dog that's going to keep me safe as well. Yeah. As a cute dog.
No, you keep her though.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
No, but I'm like, I think we, like, Percy and I need a dog protecting us.
Yeah.
Percy really tries to protect me, but like, I just can't. She tries so hard though.
She tries. It's all that matters. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for coming on.
So fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And we'll be back next time.